In this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact routines and system that I created in my life to feel good all the time. And by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Josh, and I opened a gym in the middle of the pandemic and scaled it to $100,000 months in less than 2 years. And now I have the time to teach other people to do the same. I know this may seem a little bit confusing at first glance, but I'm going to dive into every single one of these areas and it's going to make complete sense by the end. But the reason why it's so confusing is because I wanted it to be a web. Because health is never just like working on one thing. It's never just, put on your blue light blocking glasses and then you're gonna be good. Your sleep's gonna be good. It's all connective. It's all connective, and it actually all starts with your North Star. And what your North Star is basically your goals, manifesto, values, and journaling. So with your goals, you have to know which direction you're going in. So you have to make sure that you know what you're trying to do. So for example, I want to move into a large house on a large property. I want this apartment in this city. I want to have this car. I want to have this. I want to have this many children. I want whatever it is, right? And then from there, you also have your manifesto. And your manifesto is just a written manifesto about yourself and what you're trying to accomplish and who you are. So, for example, you can say something like, my name is Josh Kraken, and I own a house in Wisconsin, and it's 4,000 square feet, and I have 3 children, like things like that, right? Where it's you're trying to use it as a way to visualize what your life is going to be like. And the best way to do it is to make sure that you're just planning ahead for like 3 to 5 years. So writing about yourself and who you are in 3 to 5 years, because the reason why you're not that person yet is because you're not that person. So you can visualize what that person would be like and then start connecting the dots and becoming that person, right? So just that's what you have to do. It's like, who is the person who has $10 million in their bank account? Who is the person who has who makes $100,000 per year or whatever it is, and then write down that person and then slowly become that person. That's what the manifesto is. It's kind of a guiding light. It's a North Star, right? And then you have your values from there. So your values are just like, health is the most important thing, that your family is the most important thing. These are the kind of things that you should be writing down. And you can get values by just ChatGPT or Googling them and seeing what aligns with you, right? And then from there is journaling every single day to make sure that you're headed in that direction. So journaling is just a reflection. It's a reflection of where you are right now. And just, it's an opportunity for you to just feel grateful for what you have. So that's why it's so important to journal every single day. And then from there, we're going to talk about tracking. So tracking all of this, right? So when you're tracking a lot of these things that you can track, you end up making sure that what you're doing is right, because you can look at the numbers. It's just like, looking at your financial statements, having a budget, right? It's making sure that what you're doing right now is headed in the right direction. So the things I track are from my Aura Ring, and I track my sleep, my body weight, and I put it into a spreadsheet. And I used to track my food, but I don't anymore. The reason why I don't anymore is because it just doesn't align with my current goals, and I don't really care that much. And also, I'm maintaining a low body weight now that I'm happy with, and so I don't have a reason to track my food anymore. It just takes up too much time. It takes up too much mental capacity. I just eat healthy. And so on my spreadsheet, I just give myself a check mark for if I ate healthy. Now, I'm going to show you my spreadsheet here. Just going to pull it up. So that's what it looks like. And you can see here that I've been tracking for 39 months now. And it's been a long time. There's been some breaks and times where I haven't been tracking as accurately, but I do my best to fill out the entire chart. So you can see here that I track my body weight. I track whether or not I fasted. I track whether I ate well, steps, my bedtime, my wake time, my hours of sleep readiness score, and other sleep scores and things like that. And then from here, you can see that I've been doing this for a very long time, and I write notes about the day and like why I didn't get as good sleep as I wanted to or something like that. So that's essentially how I track everything. And if you wanted to download this spreadsheet, you can go down to the description below, and I left a link for you to download it. Now, that's tracking, and it's so important. Now, I'm going to go into sleep because that's also, everything here is extremely important. That's why it's all on the web. But the sleep is the thing that's going to make you feel good. And if you feel good, then you're going to make good decisions. If you make good decisions, then you're going to be headed towards your North Star. So with your sleep, It all starts with the morning. So what I do is I wake up in the morning, I get morning sunlight, and I live in Vancouver, so right now it's like 7:30 a.m. It's still actually dark outside. So what I did this morning was I used a sad lamp, which is just a really bright lamp, and I just shone it on myself while I was doing my morning routine, which is just, I was doing my journal. I was doing like filling my sheets and those kind of things, eating, and then I had the morning sunlight on me, right? The artificial morning sunlight. And then from there, I do not drink any alcohol because it's going to affect my sleep. And then I also don't drink any caffeine as well. So no caffeine in the morning. I realized that it's something unnecessary that I don't need. I was tired with coffee. I was tired without coffee. It didn't really make a difference to me. I was just drinking coffee out of a habit. So I didn't want to do it anymore. And I suggest you do the same, or if not, just cut down your caffeine consumption. Cut down your caffeine consumption by a significant amount because it affects your sleep. And then from here, make sure before bed that I have a bedtime routine, which starts with eating early, right? So I stop eating and drinking by 4 or 5 p.m. every single day. I go to bed by 9, in bed by 9, sleeping by 9. So I make sure that I cut off all food before around 4 or 5 p.m. And then from there, I block all blue light before bed as well. So I either put on orange glasses or I turn off my phone. And then also I make sure that my bedroom is set up in a way that I can sleep. So it's quiet, it's dark, and it's cold. So my bedroom, I forget the exact temperature, but it's somewhere around like 18 to 20 degrees, 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Now from here, I make sure that I also exercise early as well in the day. So no exercise after about 3:30, 4 p.m. And then my bedtime, I make sure that I block the blue light, like I said, that I have a wind down time. So I'm making sure that I'm not watching like a scary movie or doing anything too intense, like having intense conversations or anything. It's just like reading and simple things like that. And then I also have earplugs and I also have an eye mask to block everything. And so that's how I maintain a consistent sleep schedule and I sleep really well. Now from here, I also have my routine. So my routine, so I'm going to just make this a little bit more about for gym owners because that's who I'm trying to target here. But for your routine, what you have is, of course, your bedtime routine, which you just talked about, and then you also have your morning routine. So really important. What I do is I eat, I log my sheets right after I eat, I journal, and then I go and exercise. And the exercise I do is just a 15 to 20 minute walk in my neighborhood. So really simple. It's really low effort. It doesn't make me stressed or anything like that. So it's really easy to do. If I were to say like, oh, I'm gonna have like this big workout or I'm gonna do this huge mobility routine, then it's gonna stop me from doing it because it's like too big of a task. It's gonna make me feel too tired or something. If I went for a run or something, like it would be just too much. So I just walk, I get my heart rate up a little bit, I breathe a little bit, and then I go back and as soon as I'm done my morning routine, I dive into work. And then from there, I also have a routine as an exercise. So I exercise anywhere between like 3 to 5 times per week, or even 2 to 5 times per week, depending on the week and also what I'm doing. But I do not exercise for any more than half an hour. So I go to the gym, I do a quick workout, and then I feel good that usually at the end of my workday, so around like 3 to 4 p.m., I exercise, and then that's it. Like it's a quick workout. The reason why I exercise quickly is because I want to reduce the amount of stress on my body. And so my goal is just feeling good and working well. So I'm not going to exercise for long periods of time or like go super hard or super heavy anymore. It's just not something that I want to do anymore. It's not something that I care about anymore. And I suggest you do the same as well. Obviously, it depends on your goals and what you're trying to do. But for the most part, I found that exercising for anything more than 30 minutes is just going to affect my work. And my work is the most important thing for me, along with my family and everything. I don't want to be tired because of my workout. It's just not that important to me. Now, also, I have the work schedule that I suggest for gym owners is you have, you're training your clients, your marketing stuff, and then your training staff, right? The marketing and training staff is the most important thing. The training clients is just extra stuff. Okay, so like literally the training clients is just like, you have like a little bit of extra cash in your bank account. The training staff and the marketing is the most important thing, especially the marketing. So marketing is what we talked about in previous videos. Like you have your 250 list that you can contact, you have your Instagram, you have your making sure that you're contacting leads and all of that stuff. Like that's the most important part. And then you have training staff as well, making sure that your internal stuff is working really well. So that's your routine for your work schedule, and to just make sure that you're staying on top of that. A lot of people end up neglecting the marketing and the training staff, and they just like train clients and then do sales, and their business ends up falling apart. So keep that in mind. Now for food and supplements, so we're going to dive into food. So first off, no junk food. At first I wrote no processed food, but then I realized that processed food it's not necessarily bad, because even rice is a processed food. What I mean is not the shit food, right? So no shit food, just eat high quality nutrient dense foods. Eat meat, right? And avoid seed oils. Also minimize gluten. I found that gluten just gives me brain fog, and I find that that's the case for most people. So I'm not gluten intolerant or anything like that, but I minimize the gluten because it does make me feel like spacey and lethargic and things like that. So as soon as I took it out of my diet, I felt a lot better, and I suggest you do the same as well. So also we minimize ordering food. So I rarely eat out, maybe once in a while to a restaurant or something, but for the most part, I just eat at home. And then I also, you can also do meal prep delivery. So we cook our meals at home, but meal prep delivery, totally worth it, especially if it's like really healthy and like avoids seed oils, and then has like high protein and things like that. So I'm not going to dive too much into this because I'm going to trigger probably a bunch of vegans in who are watching this, because I said like eat meat. But yeah, that's what I found works best for me. So but yeah, you have to find out what works best for you. Now, also supplements. The supplements that I take are vitamin E, vitamin B, creatine, and magnesium. I take a little bit more, but I find that these are going to be the ones that are going to be the most important. So the magnesium before bed, vitamin E because everyone's vitamin E deficient, and vitamin B complex because we're deficient in many B vitamins, and then also creatine because it also has cognitive benefits as well, and also it's a very well-known supplement and trusted supplement, so that's why I suggest taking it. But it's up to you. I don't take it for like muscle building benefit, but of course I do, but that's not the number one thing. So, and then finally, of course, is stress management. So first off, the little things. So what I mean by the little things is making sure that you don't have little things in your business that are bothering you and that are affecting you. So for example, like we don't I don't deal with client payments anymore, right? So I've gave that to like a VA. That's not something that I worry about anymore, and they can worry about it. And because when it's my business, that stuff affects me so much. When somebody like asks for a refund, or when somebody does, right, it's like on my mind. Versus for if you're just an employee of the company and somebody wants a refund, you're like, oh, just follow the SOP, done. Right? Like they don't really care as much. It doesn't affect them as much. So just making sure that all those little things in your business, that you're delegating that and you're automating that, so you don't have to think about it anymore. And then also exercise. So this is what I kind of touched on earlier, but I make sure that I minimize the amount of exercise I do. So I mean, I still exercise a lot. So like I said, I still exercise anywhere between 2 to 5 times per week, but for each time it's 30 minutes, and I don't go super hard. I just do it to get my blood flowing and to just feel good. And I also just go for walks. I go for a ton of walks. Sometimes I'll go for even like 3 walks a day. So I'll go for a walk in the morning, in the afternoon, and then also like sometime like closer to like right after dinner. And the reason why I do that is because I like to get my blood flowing. I sit down a lot when I'm working, so I have to move. So I make sure that every single day I get my minimum of 10,000 steps. And so I do exercise a lot, but I just make sure that I don't exercise that so much that it's going to cause stress, right, and pain in my body. And then from there, I'll, of course, have hobbies as well. Make sure that you still are, uh, learning like a language, and that you're building something and doing something that's outside of work and all of this stuff to just keep you happy, right? And then of course you have your family and friends as well, so make sure that you're doing that because it does reduce the stress in your life. So that's how this entire thing works, and this is how you can feel good all the time. And so I suggest that you do this for yourself and add the necessary things, and you will feel so much better. And by the way, if you wanted to download this Miro board, you can just go down below and just access it and put it into your own Miro and use it for yourself. But yeah, it's for you to download down below. See you next video.